You're watching Unfiltered with Liz Casanova. In the summer of 1944, a B-24 bomber nicknamed the Irishman's Shanty was a part of the 492nd Bomb Group in World War II. Crew 713 was the first crew that narrowly escaped its 30-mission combat tour. This particular crew was led by David O'Sullivan and faced danger head-on from their base at North Pickenham, England, into Germany and other Nazi-occupied countries in Europe. Director Alex Mena is in the process of completing his documentary, Crew 713, that tells the story of these brave men and their missions in World War II.
They flew a B-24 Liberator bomber, and they were the first crew from their bomb group to complete a 30-mission combat tour. This is in and of itself a unique thing for any crew to get to 30, but the subtext of the film is that this is the history of this bomb group, the 492nd Bomb Group, which turns out to be the most devastated American heavy bomb group in the history of Second World War, and subsequently the history of the United States Air Force.
Mena's father, Nemesio Mena, was the radio operator of the O'Sullivan Crew 713. There were many Latin American and Spanish-speaking men and women who served in World War II, and although many of the crews and units were segregated by race, Mena's father served with O'Sullivan and the Irish.
I think it's interesting because my dad was military. He got out in 45, and then he got called back in 50 for Korea, and then he stayed in from 50 through 68. So he was in Korea and Vietnam. So I think the guys who are lifers, the guys who made a career out of it, they're more readily available to talk about it because in the three conflicts that my dad served in, World War II, Korea, and Vietnam, he was in harm's way. He didn't have a cushy stateside job. He was literally, his life could have been ended on any particular mission during those three conflicts. So I think when you're that close to death, you have a much more, you kind of embrace it and accept it, and you just deal with it. I think the guys who spent just a short period of time, the guys who were in from 1941 to 45 and then went on with their lives, I think those are the guys that I have noticed through my interviews that they're the guys who kind of keep it compartmentalized and they don't really talk about it. And it wasn't only until after they're towards the end of their lives that they then open up and talk about their experiences, because I think they know that they're close to their lives coming over and they want someone to know about their history.
However, Mena talks about the unity during times of war.
So they were from all over, and it's interesting is that the breakdown of how when they went off as crew members on their days off and stuff like that, it wasn't so much that they went off according to rank, like usually the enlisted men would all go one place and the officers would go one. They broke down more along the lines of religion. So there's a lot of pictures of my dad with the Catholic members of the crew in London, taking photos and stuff like that. And then I have other photos from the other guys, and it's all the Protestant guys, and they're all hanging out together. So, but I thought that was kind of a little interesting thing about how they broke down when they were on their own. But when they were a crew, they all came together, and one for all and all for one.